Yo, come here. Come here real quick. Let me tell you something. Come here. When it comes to cooking that boom bap, there are 3 drum patterns that you need to know that will never, ever, ever get old. I'm going to show you my 3 favorite. So make sure you watch closely. But if you stick around to the end of the video, I got one more pattern, one more secret pattern that you can use or that you can incorporate in your beat making process when it comes to cooking that boom bap. Let's get into the video. Music producers, what's up and welcome back to another video. It's me, They Call Me Heat. If this is your first time watching any of my videos today, I'm a music producer of over 15 years, and on my channel right here, I show music producers how to make some of the best boom bap hip hop style beats. When I talk about boom bap on here, I always talk about the type of sounds that you need to be using, and I always talk about the programming, because the programming is very important. How you do the drums, that's going to determine how somebody's neck moving. How you program the drums, that's going to determine if the artist even really is going to rock with that beat. So I already have a few different sounds. I got a kick right here. I got a snare, nice snappy, right in your face snare, hi-hat, and I got another snare that I'm going to use as well. All these sounds are super dope. They're interchangeable, so that's why I got like a few different type of sounds, like a couple different snares. So y'all know how I do. I do like to figure out a dope drum pattern and then go find my sample. Let me show you this first pattern. So from there, we'll keep the hi-hats like that just for now. And it is very important that I do note that my tempo is at 180. So if you divide that in half, because I like to work in double time, but if you divide that in half, this is 90 BPM here. Turn the volume down on the hi-hat a little bit as well. Then we'll add the snare in next. So I'm gonna drag these over here. I'm gonna double this pattern up here. Sounds super simple, right? We're gonna adjust this and make this fall into place so nicely, but I just want you to hear how it started off. So we're gonna do and add what's called ghost notes. Now, of course, ghost notes are more lower velocity. Just needed to get the note in there first. So that's what I'm doing now. So now we can lower our velocity to where it actually feels like a ghost note. And just like that, now it seems like there's some swing in there. Now, of course, I did take off the ghost note. I took it off time, moved it about 14 notches over. Here we are. Now, same thing with the hi-hat here. Watch what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna move this over about 6 notches. I moved it back, so basically now I'm at 4 notches instead of the 6 that I was at initially. And this is a very simple drum pattern here that they would use back in the 90s. So if you don't know how to make drum patterns, or if you feel like your drum patterns are subpar or just very simple and don't really have a lot of swing or don't have a lot of bounce to them, you can always revert back to the 90s drum pattern. So I found this dope sample. Yep, I think I found the sample I'm gonna use. I pulled that question sample out and I found this like section that has like some vocals in there. What is good about being loved? Cause what I did, I put it in Fruity Slicer. I turned the attack up just a little bit so that it doesn't sound choppy at the beginning. And then I turned the release up just a little bit. And I know that I'm getting into a beat making process, which is cool. I'm building a foundation so that we can do different drum patterns with the drums. Ooh! Y'all hear that? And just like that, like it just fit. I didn't go through a bunch of different samples, any of that. Like I literally, this is the first thing I came up with. It all just falls into place because those drums are just so universal. It can work with anything. So that's one of the very first patterns that you can always go to right there. It's just the 1-2. For all my people out there, you can copy this same drum pattern here. Just go back a little bit, listen to how I built it, and then build your drum pattern the same way. Add a little swing to, you know, your notes maybe. Very simple tricks right here. Very simple. Let me show you another one real quick. Producers, if you liking what you're hearing right now, I know what you're thinking. Where is he getting these sounds from? Listen, I make custom drum loops, custom samples, custom drum kits, things like that, as well as MIDI kits too. So head over to boombapuniversity.com. That's where all of my custom sounds are. So anything that you hear in my videos, you can get sounds just like that over at Boom Bap University. I don't want you to have whack sounds. I want you to have good sounds. So I'm sharing the good stuff. I'm giving you good stuff. So head over to boombapuniversity.com, grab up some kits, and I guarantee you your beat's gonna start sounding like this. Let's get back to the video. For the second drum pattern I'm gonna show you, it almost is identical to the first one. This one right here that I'm gonna show you though is crazy. This one's more Dilla-ish, you know, Dilla-esque. I just feel like this is something that he would do. So if I was speaking in like numbers, it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4. Every number is equivalent to the kick. So I'm gonna show you exactly what I mean. So this is it. This is 4 kick notes. This is all that you need. Now what you're gonna do is you're probably gonna end up doubling them, like to make the pattern repeat essentially. But we're now gonna add some very, very, very amazing swing here. Watch. Now we got the first kick, which will most likely be on point, but the second one I like to bring it over as well. We'll bring this over, I'll say about 6. And then the fourth one, we want to take over probably about 14. So now with the hi-hat pattern, this one is a little bit more intricate. The other one was just 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if you don't have 16 pads like I do, which is okay, you can still create it with the keys because your keyboard is always velocity sensitive. I have what's called 16 levels. And basically what that does is I can take this hi-hat, highest velocity on 16, lowest on 1, which you don't hear. I want to find a different snare as well. So let me see with my other. We'll just use that snare. And I didn't even quantize the snare either. I'm just leaving that how it is. It fell into place so perfect. So now I'm actually gonna lay that sample down right over these drums. And now I feel like the delay will work with this because we're kind of chopping it the same way as before. Again, I laid these patterns down and chopped the sample, same sample, different pieces of the sample because of how the drums sound. This is another reason why I lay my drums down first, because I can get a different type of feel rather than being locked in the sample's groove. I can create my own groove for the sample to fall into. Just a quick gem there for you so that you can, you know, feel more confident about chopping samples in your drum patterns and things like that. Now, I think I'm gonna go into another type of bag here. So now I really wanna take it back to the basics for this third drum pattern. Now with this drum pattern here, this is gonna be very boom bap. Always remember, boom is the kick, bap is the snare. But we're keeping it very simple on this right here. Let me go find a different type of snare to work with because I want to show you different ways that you can use different elements or different sounds, things like that. So I got this snare right here now. Now with the hi-hat, we're not going to do too much. You can never go wrong with that pattern right there. It is gonna depend on the type of sounds that you use, but this very pattern is universal. You can use this on anything. I'm gonna add another Fruity Slicer because I have a new sample. I have a new sample by Both. It's called Both Hands Free, or I think the group is called Both Hands Free. Song is called Solitude. Now I don't know if this is gonna be perfect, but we gonna see what happens here. Probably gonna have to slow it down just a little bit here. That's super dope. That's super dope. And it actually falls into place with the sample. I mean, you can't beat these drum patterns. Like, that's literally 3 drum patterns that I've showed you that you literally can use in any beat. Any boom bap beat you cooking up, you can use these patterns right here. Now, lastly, everybody is always asking me, where'd you get that drum loop from? You know, what pack is that? So many different questions I get of like, where is that from, right? One of the things that you can do is that you literally can recreate what you hear. So I would go into my, I would go into my drum loop folder here. We'll throw that drum loop in just so that it's in there. We'll time stretch it, get it right so that we can, you know, kind of mess around with it here. So you can now take this and you can go get your sounds. So let's go find us a dope kick. And now what I can do is I can turn the volume down on this one a little bit. So it's still there, but it's not. And then I can start putting my own sounds on top. Boom. First part's right. Let's drag this over. Let's put this snare in there. Now, there are some ghost notes in here as well. How do we get the ghost notes? That's very easy. So the way that I'm doing it normally would be in a piano roll. You know, you're adding it in, you can move the velocity and things like that. Let's say you're following along with me right now and you're trying to do the same exact thing, but you don't know, how do I get the ghost note? You would copy the sound that you're using, which is here. Now would make unique. So now we have another version of that kick. And then I can turn this down just a little bit and it won't affect the other kicks that are there. Now let's mute the actual drum loop and let's see what we got now. Now there was another part in there which were hi-hats, so let's go see about hi-hat. Very, 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 very simple process right there for you. Let's go get a sample and watch the sample fall into place of the drums just like that. Simple process with, you know, easy stuff right here, man. I am so helpless without your love. I am so I like that. I'm just gonna grab that. That was perfect right there. I like that. That came out really, really good. Thank you for sticking around. Thank you for watching the rest of the video. You know, some of these drum patterns you may already know or you may have already tried, but I wanted to show you the importance of these drum patterns because they're very universal and you can use them pretty much on any boom bap beat that you're cooking up. And as you saw, all the samples that I used, even the first one where I used a different part of the sample, but the same chops, same area that I chopped, but just different parts of the chop, it fell into that second drum pattern. That's how great these drum patterns are. So man, I love boom bap. This is why I like cooking boom bap. This is why I like just working with samples and all of that, because this style of music will never get old, right? Like you can do anything with it. You know what I'm saying? It's just, this is how I stay creative. So shout out to y'all. Thank you for watching. I hope I inspire someone out there to go create, keep cooking that boom bap. All right, make sure you head over and log into Patreon so that you can get the sounds available right now that were used in today's video. Okay, peace.